What's up, guys? Lon Eagleton here, back with another video. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a Q&A video. Going to be answering questions that you guys submitted to me through my Instagram page. And this is my new dog, Mila. And she's super cute. She's going to be hanging out with us in the video today because she's quite the handful and I can't really leave her alone. So we'll see if she behaves. And so far she's biting on my finger. So let's see if you can bite on this instead. Good girl. Alright, so just gonna read these off my phone here. We're gonna keep it pretty cash. So here we go. What are you most excited for with going on tour? So I'm really just looking forward to getting back and playing regular shows. You know, it's been a while since I've been able to play consistent shows, and although we've been busy in the studio and doing all sorts of stuff outside of that, you can't really beat the excitement of just playing live in front of a crowd. So looking forward to doing that on a regular basis. I love playing in the big venues too, which there's a lot of really awesome venues on this tour coming up this fall. So that's one of the things I'm excited about, and also just getting to meet all the fans, right? Because I haven't really had much of a chance to meet many fans in person yet, so I'm really looking forward to doing that and saying hello to all of you guys who can come to one of the US shows this fall. What is your favorite tuning? My favorite tuning is just standard, you know, EAD, GBE. That's kind of what I play in normally, instinctively, but I do like playing in the drop tunings too, whenever the song calls for it. In the new Black Veil Bride song coming out, The Torch, we're actually doing that one in drop A, and I think that's probably one of the lowest tunings Black Veil Brides has done, and it's drop A, because most of the stuff is either drop C sharp or drop C, but yeah, this one's going to be drop A, so that'll be pretty exciting. First song on bass you ever learned? I think the first song I learned on bass was Seven Nation Army. Boo doo 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 doo. Yeah, classic bass line. You doing okay there? Yeah, good girl. All right, what else we got here? What's your favorite BVB track from each album? And what are some other favorite bands from when you were a kid? Wow, that is a great question. Okay, I'm going to pull up the albums here on Spotify, because it helps if you can see the list, you know what I mean? Okay, let's start with We Stitch These Wounds. So, yeah, I think my favorite song from We Stitch These Wounds is Perfect Weapon. Yeah, gotta be Perfect Weapon. I mean, they're all so good, but I would choose Perfect Weapon off that. From Set the World on Fire, such a tough one. You know, I've always really liked God Bless You, actually. I know it's one of the more lesser popular ones off the record, but I really like God Bless You. For some reason, that just kind of hits hard for me. Actually, a little story. I remember the first show I did with BVB in Mexico City. We were in the Mexico airport, and we were hanging out at one of the terminals, and there was a MAC makeup. Oh, she's looking at me. There was a MAC makeup store right beside where we were, and they started playing God Bless You out of their speakers, and they were all looking at us like, hey, and we're like, oh, nice, thanks for playing the tune. So that was kind of cool. And let's see, Wretched and Divine, such a tough one. Let's go with Nobody's Hero. I'd say Nobody's Hero is probably my favorite off Wretched and Divine. And then the fourth record, my favorite song would probably be Devil in the Mirror, perhaps. And from Veil, I like The Outsider. And off the new record, you guys haven't heard it yet, but Born Again would be my favorite song off Phantom Tomorrow. So yeah. Why did you decide to have Mila? Sending love to you from Russia. Can't wait to see you there. Yeah, can't wait to come tour in Russia. What's up, Mila? She likes biting fingers, but luckily she has no teeth yet, so it doesn't hurt too bad. She's also got this cow, which she kind of likes. Yeah, you can play with that. So my wife Rita's always wanted a dog. You know, she's always been a really big dog person. Whenever there's a dog on the sidewalk, she'll stop and pet it, like that kind of thing. And she's just always wanted a dog. I never really had much desire to get a dog. And to be honest, it took a lot of convincing. Rita had to really convince me. And finally, I caved in. And I was pretty nervous. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if this is something I want. But then, the second we picked her up, I was like, just fell in love right away. And she's like the best thing. So, yeah, I was a little hesitant, but, having her here is just like the best thing ever. Right? You like it here? You like it here? Yeah. How did you start playing music in the first place? So when I first started playing, it was just a simple thing of I would just kind of fiddle around on the instrument. I used to go to tab websites and just read guitar and bass tab, learn songs that way. I would also enjoy getting together with friends of mine from school, and we would just show each other all the riffs we knew, kind of teach each other what we learned. And I did that for about a year, and then I enrolled in private lessons. So I took private guitar lessons from the time I was in grade 8 up until I graduated high school. And then after that, I moved to Vancouver, and I started music college. So I went to university for music, and I studied jazz guitar. And yeah. What or who inspired you to play guitar? So I discovered the band AC/DC. My dad showed me AC/DC, and that kind of made me fall in love with music, and that made me want to play guitar. But I never really started playing guitar until a bit later on. I was in school. I was in grade 7. A buddy of mine brought his guitar to school, and he played the riff to Master of Puppets by Metallica. And I was like, oh my god, that's the coolest thing. I'd never seen anybody like play guitar right in front of me and create those sounds right before my eyes like that before. And that was the coolest thing ever. I remember going home from school that day. I told my mom I wanted to learn to play guitar, and she was like, no, you're not playing guitar. I don't want that noise in the house, kind of thing. But I was pretty persistent, and I kept asking. Eventually, I got a guitar for Christmas that year, and yeah, I never looked back. If you didn't choose to be a musician, what would you have done? I think, I always think if I wasn't a musician, I would have liked to be a tattoo artist. I really do like drawing and creating art and that kind of stuff, and obviously I like tattoos. I got a full sleeve, and yeah, I think I'd love to be a tattoo artist, and actually I did give a tattoo once, if you haven't heard the story. This was years ago. I was on a Tinder date with a tattoo artist, and the date ended up with me giving her a tattoo in her tattoo shop. And that was like a really cool thing. I had always wanted to give a tattoo, and it was kind of a dream come true. So she let me tattoo her, and I drew a pineapple on her. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, after that, I was always like, you know what? If I wasn't playing music, I would love to be a tattoo artist. Do you have any advice for someone who is trying to improve at guitar? P.S. Thank you for motivating me to practice. So excited that I've been motivating you to practice. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, let's see. My biggest advice would just be to practice with the metronome. Get a metronome, one of those click things, boop, 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 and practice along with that, because that really helps to improve your sense of time and just your overall groove and rhythm, and it really helps you to, gel when you eventually start playing with other musicians. So practice along with the metronome is really something I'd recommend. Apart from that, there's really so much that can be learned from getting together with other guitar players and just jamming with them. If you have any friends who also play guitar, be like, hey, let's meet up and play guitar together, and you can show each other the riffs that you both know and techniques and all that stuff. I used to love doing that when I was in school, and I think that's a great way to help improve your musicianship, and also it's a really fun time too. How did you get into playing with Andy for both BVB and Andy Black? So for those who don't know the story, basically, Andy's first drummer in his solo project, his name was Bo Evans, and he's a friend of mine. And Bo ended up recommending me to play with Andy when Andy needed a new guitar player for his solo tour. So, yeah, I was contacted by the management, and they asked me to send in an audition tape of me playing one of the songs, as well as my Instagram page. So, yeah, and then Andy just kind of checked out the videos that I had online and was like, okay, this guy looks pretty cool, he can play. And it was pretty much as simple as that. So he just checked out what I had online, saw that I would be a good fit, and then asked me to send in an audition tape of me playing one of the songs. So, what are you doing? Oh, she's hiding under the pillow. So, anyways, I recorded a video of me playing his song, We Don't Have to Dance, and I sent it in, and they were like, yeah, this is cool, and then they asked me to join that way. So, it was a pretty quick thing. It was pretty simple, and I actually didn't even meet Andy in person until the first rehearsal. You know, we hadn't even met in person. It was all done through email. But we hit it off right away. You know, we became pretty good friends on tour, like immediately. You know, we bonded over sports and all kinds of stuff, right? And yeah, the solo tour went really well. And then when his solo tour ended, Blackfield Bride was starting up, and it turned out they needed a new bassist at that time. So the band reached out to me, and they asked me to join. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks to everybody who submitted a question. My apologies if I didn't get to yours. Maybe in the next video. So keep an eye out for part 2 next week. But yeah, thank you so much for checking out the videos and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. I'm Lonnie Eagleton. This is Mila Eagleton. Fast asleep. And we'll see you next time. Take care.